Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deeper into the life of Barron Trump, the youngest son of former U.S. President Donald Trump. Once known as a quiet, reserved figure, Barron is now stepping into the spotlight as a freshman at New York University. Alongside rumors of his first love, whispers of his natural charisma, his fascination with luxury cars, and even childhood stories of charitable deeds, Barron's journey is unfolding in ways that continue to capture public curiosity. Before we dive into this captivating story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of our exclusive stories about power, wealth, and the hidden truths behind the world's most talked about figures. Let us retrace his path from a childhood carefully shielded from the world to his first steps into public recognition, marked by a rumored luxury car collection and budding business ventures. Barron William Trump was born on March 20th, 2006 in New York City, making him 19 years old as of April 2025. He is an American citizen, the only child of Donald Trump and Melania Trump, but he also shares a family bond with his four half-siblings, Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany Trump. Today he studies at the Stern School of Business at New York University, one of the most competitive undergraduate business programs in America, already hinting at a future shaped by ambition and high expectations. The world first noticed him during the 2016 presidential campaign, when a shy 10-year-old Barron appeared at the Republican National Convention and on election night. From 2017 to 2021, he became the only Trump child to live full-time in the White House, a unique experience that his mother Melania fiercely tried to shield from media obsession. Years later, in 2024, Barron would emerge as an unofficial advisor to his father's presidential campaign, helping bridge the gap with younger voters through TikTok and podcasts, a move that many credit with energizing the Republican youth vote. That same year, he co-founded a real estate firm with a focus on luxury properties and golf courses. Though the company dissolved shortly after Donald Trump's electoral win, the move revealed Barron's growing interest in business. His roots, however, trace back to a childhood of immense privilege, raised in the golden penthouse of Trump Tower, born just a year after his parents' lavish wedding in 2005. Melania Trump worked tirelessly to protect her son's privacy, banning social media, limiting public appearances, and ensuring that Barron's childhood remained as much as possible untouched by the frenzy of cameras and politics. He began his studies at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School in Manhattan, where classmates described him as friendly and approachable. It was here that rumors of his first romance surfaced with a classmate named Maddie, who later claimed to be his very first girlfriend. In 2017, Barron's life took another turn when at age 10 he moved into the White House. Unlike his older siblings who embraced the public stage, Barron lived quietly, rarely seen at official events. Instead, he devoted his time to school, to family, and to those closest to him, especially his mother and his grandfather, Victor Canavs, with whom he shared countless moments at Mar-a-Lago. Sources describe Barron as an old soul, a young man with a European poise inherited from Melania, setting him apart from his American peers. Barron also built special bonds with his nieces and nephews like Kai Trump, often joining them in games of hide-and-seek or soccer on the White House lawn. Beyond family, he carried passions that defined him: soccer, where he played midfield for DC United's Youth Academy in Technology with Donald Trump, once praising his son's remarkable computer skills, noting that Barron could navigate complex systems with ease. His education journey took him from St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Maryland to Oxbridge Academy in Palm Beach, Florida, where he graduated in May 2024. At Oxbridge, Barron often went by the alias Jack to maintain his privacy, moving through school corridors under the constant watch of Secret Service agents. Despite these restrictions, classmates recall his wit, his humor, and the effortless way he could spark conversations. Excelling in science and aviation, Barron pursued advanced classes, often completing online coursework to balance his unique lifestyle. Growing up under the constant gaze of security and media shaped Barron Trump into a private, guarded young man. Yet his years in Florida gave him fleeting glimpses of a more ordinary life, even though he rarely took part in the high school traditions like prom or team sports. His story is still in its opening chapters, but the signs already suggest that Barron could grow into a future leader in business or technology. As of April 2025, Barron is a freshman at New York University's Stern School of Business, one of the most prestigious and competitive undergraduate business programs in the country. Remarkably, back in July 2024, while still in high school, he co-founded a real estate firm with his classmate Cameron Roxburgh. The company, based at Mar-a-Lago, targeted luxury developments and golf resorts across Utah, Arizona, and Idaho. Though it dissolved after Donald Trump's electoral victory later that year, the venture revealed Barron's early ambition to build upon his family's real estate empire. During his father's 2024 presidential campaign, Barron played a surprisingly influential unofficial role, shaping media strategies to connect with young voters. His proposals included organizing a 90-minute live stream with YouTuber Adin Ross, which drew over 500,000 live viewers. Insiders believe this single event significantly boosted Republican support among Gen Z, marking Barron's first real imprint on the political stage. Those close to him say he dreams of founding his own companies and building personal wealth, a desire reinforced by his father's praise for his exceptional digital skills and ability to navigate complex tech platforms with ease. Although he has yet to secure any awards or high-profile projects, Barron's academic pursuits at NYU and his contributions to the 2024 campaign already signal a promising start. While rumors of a political career swirl, the evidence so far points to his focus on business and technology. In fact, Barron even declined an invitation to serve as a delegate for Florida at the Republican National Convention in 2024, a decision that suggests he prefers to remain behind the scenes, at least for now. At NYU, Barron is surrounded by ambitious peers and world-class professors, sharpening the skills he may one day use to launch his own tech startups. Beyond academics, he remains deeply rooted in family. He is the only child of Donald and Melania Trump, but he shares bonds with 4 older half-siblings, Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany. His life, though private, is marked by a special closeness with his mother Melania, his most constant protector, and with his late grandfather, Victor Kanavs, with whom he shared countless conversations in Slovenian, a language Barron speaks fluently. Despite his guarded upbringing, Barron has always been close in age to his nieces and nephews, sharing playful memories of soccer and hide-and-seek during White House years. His passions remain consistent: soccer. He is an avid Arsenal fan who once met Wayne Rooney while proudly wearing the team's jersey in video games with Clash of Clans, serving as a surprising bridge to his social life at NYU, even under the watchful eyes of the Secret Service. The most talked-about glimpse into Barron's private life came in 2020 when a TikTok user named Maddie, known online as Mattitude, claimed to have been his first girlfriend during their years at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School. She posted an old class photo alongside a snapshot from a White House trip after the 2016 election, joking, "We have to save my bae." Maddie later said their young relationship ended due to long distance after Barron moved to Florida. Her TikTok uploads, from Barbie filters to car lip syncs, viral dances, Halloween costumes, and songs like Drake's Pain 1993 or Charlie XCX's Apple 1993, painted the portrait of a typical teenager, standing in stark contrast to Barron's carefully guarded, secretive world. Growing up in the shadow of power has shaped Barron into someone both admired and misunderstood. At NYU, whispers follow him. He is often called a ladies' man, the tall, handsome figure who stands at 6'3", effortlessly magnetic, even to those who disagree with his family's politics. Yet beneath that aura, Barron leads a remarkably private life. He prefers quiet evenings, buried in books and coursework, residing in the Trump family's Manhattan penthouse, rather than indulging in the wild freedoms many of his peers chase. His mother Melania has been his shield, protecting him from the relentless glare of public curiosity. Even so, the Trump name is a double-edged sword. It opens doors, yes, but it also invites scrutiny. At NYU, some students say he is barely visible, almost anonymous, while others confess his last name alone complicates friendships, romances, and simple human connections. Barron has weathered rumors, unfair whispers about autism, exaggerated tales of genius IQ, or claims of speaking many languages. These stories, unfounded and often cruel, say more about the public's fascination with the Trump family than about Barron himself. His quiet focus on education has spared him from the controversies that sometimes shadow his siblings, whether Ivanka's business dealings or Donald Jr.'s political battles. When it comes to wealth, Barron lives in paradox. Officially, he has no income. He is, after all, just a college freshman. But reports estimate his fortune around $60 million, inherited estates in Palm Beach and New Jersey, plus luxury cars and investments in tech giants like Alphabet and Amazon. A March 2025 sighting of him wearing a Rolex Submariner fueled speculation about his taste for quiet luxury. Unlike his siblings, Barron has yet to launch headline-making ventures. For now, he prefers discretion, balancing privilege with restraint. He still lives in the family penthouse while studying with no public endorsements or flashy business pursuits, just the quiet discipline of someone determined to carve out a future on his own terms. Barron Trump's rumored car collection is more than just a display of wealth. It reflects his family's legacy of luxury, his personal taste, and the unique security needs of a former president's son. Reports suggest he owns 4 vehicles each, chosen not only for performance and prestige, but also for the quiet elegance that suits his reserved lifestyle. Based on sightings, media speculation, and the Trump family's love for high-performance automobiles, here are the cars most often linked to him. The 2023 Range Rover Autobiography has been Barron's discreet companion on the streets of New York. With a price tag around $150,000, this luxury SUV blends elegance with raw power. Its 523 horsepower V8 engine launches from 0 to 60 mph in just 4.4 seconds, while a 13.1-inch touchscreen, 35-speaker Meridian audio system, and adaptive air suspension create a cocoon of comfort. For security, bulletproof windows and run-flat tires meet Secret Service standards. Inside, custom leather trim reflects Barron's understated sophistication, perfect for quiet travel across the city. The Tesla Model X connects Barron with the image of a forward-thinking technophile. Starting at $100,000, the Plaid Edition offers a staggering 670 horsepower and sprints from 0 to 60 mph in just 2.5 seconds. Its panoramic glass roof, 17-inch center display, and advanced autopilot hint at his fascination with technology and sustainability. Falcon wing doors and 7-passenger seating add drama and practicality alike, while 5-star safety ratings ensure both style and security for a young heir constantly under watch. The Mercedes-Benz S-Class remains a timeless favorite linked to Barron through the Trump family's deep affinity for refined sedans. Valued at $129,000, it pairs a 429-horsepower turbocharged engine with plush luxuries, OLED displays, massage seats, and surround sound. Advanced safety features, adaptive headlights, blind spot monitoring, and automated parking make it an essential vehicle for navigating New York's crowded streets under escort. With its sleek profile, the S-Class speaks of power and status without ostentation, matching Barron's discreet low-key elegance. The crown jewel of his collection, however, is rumored to be the Lamborghini Aventador, a $500 and $1,000 supercar that channels both family tradition and youthful ambition. Packing a 759-horsepower V12 engine, it rockets from 0 to 60 mph in 2.8 seconds, reaching a breathtaking top speed of 270 mph. Its carbon fiber frame, scissor doors, and menacing silhouette reflect exclusivity and flamboyance, echoing Barron's whispered fascination with bold automotive design. For a young man growing up in the shadow of Trump Tower, the Aventador is less a toy than a statement of identity. The car that Barron Trump chooses to drive tells us more than just his taste in automobiles. It whispers a story about who he is becoming. His vehicle is equipped with a 7-inch infotainment display, customizable driving modes, and advanced aerodynamics blending youthful modernity with subtle practicality. Security is never an afterthought. GPS tracking, reinforced frames, bulletproof windows, and run-flat tires are seamlessly integrated, ensuring his safety even when the boldness of the design turns heads. And yet, unlike his father Donald, whose collection boasts a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Tesla Roadster, and even a gold-painted Cadillac Alante, Barron often distances himself from the family's $2 million garage of ostentation. In doing so, he creates a quieter, more personal signature for his journeys. It is likely that his car is maintained not by his own hands but by skilled mechanics, while Barron himself focuses on the fundamentals, timely oil changes, strong security systems, and ensuring his vehicle can integrate into official motorcades when needed. His preference for darker tones or less flashy brands reflects a young man who values privacy over spectacle, balancing the Trump legacy of extravagance with his own reserved character. Rumors swirl that he may one day add a Tesla Cybertruck symbolizing his fascination with technology, or perhaps a classic 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, a nod to a whispered passion for automotive history. Beyond his car, questions linger about Barron's place in philanthropy. While he has yet to step fully into the charitable spotlight, his family's legacy casts a long shadow. Melania Trump's 2018 Be Best campaign focused on children's welfare, online safety, and the opioid crisis indirectly shaped him. At the time, Barron was still young, but his mother's role as both First Lady and mother quietly pulled him into those circles of compassion. Recent whispers claim that as a student at New York University, Barron has begun to explore issues close to his heart, especially youth education and access to technology. An unconfirmed report even places him at a Mar-a-Lago fundraiser in 2024, supporting childhood literacy. If true, his role was modest, perhaps as an observer rather than a leader, but the seed of involvement was there. The Trump family's history with charity is complicated. The Donald J. Trump Foundation dissolved in 2018 under allegations of misuse, leaving a stain on the family's philanthropic image. Yet his siblings remain active. Ivanka champions women's empowerment, while Eric contributes heavily to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. For Barron, the path is still unwritten. Rumors suggest he may one day channel his business ventures toward causes like children's welfare, echoing his mother, or even leverage his tech savvy to promote STEM education for underprivileged youth. For now, his philanthropic journey is in its infancy, overshadowed by his studies and the quiet rhythms of a life still unfolding. The car built for Barron Trump reflects both sophistication and restraint. It comes with a 7-inch infotainment display, customizable driving modes, and advanced aerodynamics. Security enhancements, including GPS tracking and reinforced framing, ensure his safety, an important layer of protection, even though the car's bold design naturally draws attention. Unlike his father's flamboyant $2 million collection, featuring Donald Trump's Rolls-Royce Phantom Tesla Roadster and a custom gold-painted Cadillac Alante, Barron prefers a quieter style that suits his personality. Experts suggest Barron's vehicle is maintained by a team of professional mechanics, with him paying attention to essential care, like oil changes, while also benefiting from top-tier safety upgrades, bulletproof glass run-flat tires, and full compatibility with Secret Service motorcades. His preference for muted tones and lesser-known brands shows his desire for privacy, a balance between the family's luxury lifestyle and his own discreet nature. Speculation grows around whether Barron will eventually add a Tesla Cybertruck to his garage, driven by its futuristic technology, or perhaps a 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, signaling a rumored passion for automotive history. While Barron has yet to establish his own philanthropic record, his family's charitable background, especially his mother Melania's Be Best campaign launched in 2018, focusing on children's welfare, online safety, and opioid abuse prevention, creates an environment where his future involvement seems almost inevitable. Now, studying at New York University, Barron is reportedly beginning to explore causes he personally cares about, especially in youth education and technology access, shaped by his academic environment and natural tech fluency. Unconfirmed reports from 2024 even placed him at a Mar-a-Lago charity event for children's literacy, though his role seemed more like that of an observer than a leader. The Trump family's history of philanthropy remains complicated, with the Donald J. Trump Foundation dissolved in 2018 amid allegations of misuse. Still, Ivanka Trump has supported women's empowerment programs, and Eric Trump remains involved with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Speculation has long circulated that Barron Trump may one day step out from the protective shadow of his famous family to launch a company of his own. If that happens, many believe he would likely channel a significant portion of the profits toward philanthropic causes. Some imagine him following in his mother Melania's footsteps, focusing on children's well-being and youth development. Others suggest he might harness his strong interest in technology and innovation to expand STEM education programs for underprivileged communities, creating opportunities for young people who might otherwise be left behind in the digital age. Such a move would not only carve out a legacy distinct from his father's political empire, but also frame Barron as a bridge between privilege and purpose, wealth and impact. For now, however, his contributions to charity remain quiet and understated, overshadowed by his academic pursuits and the private life his family so carefully shields from the spotlight. Years before Barron Trump entered New York University, a TikTok creator named Maddie, better known online by her handle Mattitude, made a surprising claim. She said she had once been Barron's very first girlfriend when they both attended Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School. In a 2020 video that quickly drew attention, Maddie openly confessed, "I went to school with Barron Trump, and he was my first love." To support her story, she even posted a class photo and another snapshot taken during a White House visit shortly after the 2016 election, teasing her viewers with a playful caption, "We have to save my bae." This candid revelation, though lighthearted, added a human dimension to the young man who has remained so carefully out of public reach. Maddie later explained that their so-called relationship came to an end simply because Barron moved to Florida with his family. From there, her own TikTok presence continued to grow, filled with the hallmarks of a typical teenage life. Barbie filters in 2021, lip-sync performances, playful car dances, Halloween costumes, and edits set to Drake's music. Together, her videos created a portrait of carefree adolescence, a world of trends and teenage fun that stood in sharp contrast to Barron's tightly guarded upbringing. For many curious followers, her playful claims and lighthearted glimpses became a rare, if imperfect, window into Barron's early years, offering a sense of what a normal teenage chapter in his life might have looked like if not for the weight of the Trump name. Yet without concrete evidence, her story remains an unverified anecdote. As of April 2025, Barron is a freshman at NYU's Stern School of Business, blending into college life with surprising ease. Classmates describe him as tall, striking, and quietly charismatic, even among students with sharply different political views. His towering 6'7" frame drew headlines at his father's inauguration on January 20th, 2022, while his 19th birthday in March 2025 saw sources calling him an old soul with a classic European demeanor. Technology remains his passion. Friends say he socializes through gaming platforms, a clever way of building connections, while still under Secret Service watch. His father has openly praised his digital fluency, crediting him with helping shape youth-oriented strategies during the 2024 campaign, including a live stream with Aiden Ross that reportedly drew 100 million viewers. Recently, he was spotted at Trump Tower with Melania, wearing a bold Rolex, possibly a Submariner worth $10,000, or a Patek Philippe Nautilus valued at $30,000, fueling speculation of a birthday gift. Unlike his father, Barron avoids the spotlight. He skipped high-profile events like the 2024 Republican National Convention and Donald Trump's recent speech before Congress. Instead, sources suggest his focus is on studies and potential ventures, possibly a tech startup or real estate project. His rare mix of privilege, privacy, and possibility paints a portrait of a young man poised between legacy and self-discovery. From the silent boy in the shadows of the White House to a tall, magnetic freshman walking the halls of NYU, Barron Trump's story is one of transformation. The world watches closely, not just for what he inherits, but for what he chooses to become. What do you think Barron's next move will be? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and tell us who you'd like to see featured next. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the upcoming episodes.
Let's play drums.
You want to have drums?
Barron Trump. This is the first time he's ever been Barron.
Tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Barron Trump, the youngest son of Donald and Melania. Trump was born into luxury and has lived in it every single day since. Though his mother tried to shield him from the public eye during his childhood, keeping his life carefully guarded behind closed doors, Barron's world has always been one of unimaginable opulence. So extravagant, in fact, that many have called him the richest child in the world. But what truly defines the life of this young heir is his lavish lifestyle, simply the product of generational wealth or something far greater. Today, let us step into the hidden world of Barron Trump, the boy born in silk sheets, and uncover the secrets of his extraordinary upbringing. Before we dive into this captivating story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of our exclusive stories about power, wealth, and the hidden truths behind the world's most talked about figures.
This is his television debut.
Oh, he's adorable.
He is beautiful.
Born on March 20th, 2006 in New York City, Barron Trump was quickly nicknamed the Little Billionaire. He is the only child of Melania, Donald Trump's third wife, and the youngest of Donald's 5 children. Melania, a Slovenian-born model who became America's first lady, and Donald, a man who would rise to serve as the 45th President of the United States, did not expect how soon their family would expand. Just 6 months after their lavish wedding, Melania discovered she was pregnant. "I expected we would have children one day," she later shared, "but I was surprised at how quickly it happened." Donald himself admitted he was caught off guard, though he ultimately embraced fatherhood with joy. When Barron was born, he weighed 8 pounds 8 ounces, but today he towers at 6 feet 7 inches, making him the tallest among all his siblings. His unusual growth spurt has often been jokingly linked to his life of privilege, as if luxury itself could make him grow taller, faster, stronger. From the very moment he entered this world, Barron was showered with gifts that most children could never even dream of. Friends of Donald and Melania, wealthy, famous, and powerful, welcomed the child with extraordinary presents. Ellen DeGeneres, for example, famously sent the couple a golden stroller complete with a miniature chandelier, a gift so extravagant that it left everyone laughing at its absurdity. Barron spent his early years in the Trump Tower penthouse on Fifth Avenue, New York, a 3-story palace worth over $100 million, filled with marble gold and grand ceilings. He even had his own private floor to paint, play, and dream. Melania often called him Little Donald for his striking resemblance to his father. Beyond the golden cribs and luxury, Barron also received an elite education at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School, one of Manhattan's most prestigious institutions. By the time Barron was just 9 years old, his father had become the President of the United States. In 2017, the youngest Trump found himself moving from the Golden Towers of Manhattan to the most famous house in the world, the White House. It was a transition that very few children on Earth could ever imagine. And yet for Barron, it was simply another chapter in an already extraordinary life. After Donald Trump's inauguration as president, the White House became the new family residence. Yet Melania and Barron did not rush to move in. Instead, they waited for 5 long months before relocating to Washington, D.C., so that Barron could finish his 5th grade year at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School in New York. Education for Melania came before politics. That final year was special. Not only was Barron completing his last term at Columbia, but he also gave his classmates a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As the son of the president, Barron arranged for his entire 5th grade class, 80 excited children, to take a field trip to Washington, D.C., where they toured the White House and met the President of the United States, his father. On June 11, 2017, Barron officially joined his father at the White House and soon enrolled at St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Maryland. This choice surprised many, for unlike the Clintons, Bushes, and Obamas, who all sent their children to Sidwell Friends, a prestigious Quaker school, Donald and Melania chose differently. They placed Barron in one of the most exclusive and expensive preparatory schools in the country. But being the president's son also came with unwanted attention. Reporters, paparazzi, and tabloids attempted to invade Barron's privacy. Through it all, Melania fought fiercely to protect her child, ensuring he remained shielded from the relentless spotlight. During the Trump presidency, Barron's life in Washington was deliberately kept private. He avoided political events and media interviews, appearing only at family traditions, the annual White House Easter egg roll, the Thanksgiving turkey pardon in 2017, and a handful of holiday occasions. Yet despite Melania's careful protection, Barron was not spared from cruelty. He became the target of online bullying and in later years, even disturbing threats. In 2023, when he was still a teenager, one threat against his life was taken so seriously that it made national headlines. It was a sobering reminder of the heavy burden he carried simply for being Donald Trump's son. After Donald Trump left the White House in January 2021, the family relocated to Mar-a-Lago, their opulent estate in Palm Beach, Florida. Barron continued his studies at Oxbridge Academy, an elite private school where he spent his high school years. In May 2024, at the age of 18, Barron graduated. Both Donald and Melania proudly attended his commencement ceremony, marking not only an academic milestone, but also the beginning of Barron's journey into adulthood. Now the world watches with curiosity. How has growing up as Donald Trump's son shaped him, and what path will he carve for himself in the years to come? Too early to speak of Barron without first looking at Donald Trump, the man whose shadow looms large over his youngest son's life. Donald John Trump is an American politician, media personality, businessman, and the current 47th President of the United States. Before this historic return, he had already served as the 45th president from 2017 to 2021. For Donald, growing up was never a struggle. He had everything he could ever need. His father, Fred Trump, was a wealthy real estate developer who gave each of his children about $20,000 a year, an allowance which, adjusted for inflation, would equal over $265,000 annually in 2024. By contemporary standards, Donald was already a millionaire in his youth. Imagine how a life steeped in such extravagance would later shape his children, especially Barron, his only son, with Melania Trump. Donald's education combined privilege with discipline. He first studied at the private Q Forest School, where he earned a reputation as a bold, outspoken boy curious about business. Wanting stricter training, Fred Trump sent him to the New York Military Academy, where Donald adapted to a regimented military-style environment. Later, he spent 2 years at Fordham University before transferring to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. In 1968, he graduated with a degree in economics, laying the foundation for his future empire. In 1971, Donald Trump became president of his father's company, rebranding it and pushing into luxury hotels, casinos, and skyscrapers. The empire shined, but the 1990s brought bankruptcies that tested his survival. Refusing to fall, he reinvented himself with bold ventures, including Trump University in 2005, charging up to $30. By 2010, legal pressure forced him to rename it the Trump Entrepreneur Initiative. Beyond real estate, Trump transformed into a cultural phenomenon. From 2004 to 2015, he hosted the hit reality show The Apprentice, where his catchphrase, "You're fired," became part of American pop culture. Yet his success as a celebrity businessman was shadowed by endless controversy. Bankruptcies, lawsuits, and accusations followed him like storm clouds. According to a 2018 review by USA Today, Trump and his companies had been involved in more than 4,000 legal cases in both state and federal courts. For Donald Trump, empire building always came with drama, but drama was precisely what kept him at the center of America's attention. Documents later revealed shocking truths. Employees of Trump University were trained to use aggressive sales tactics known as the Hartle method, and former staff testified that the institution had deceived, even outright lied to its students. More than 70 lawsuits piled up, painting a damning picture. Despite the scandals, banks in the 1980s still lent Trump over $4 billion. But when his companies went bankrupt in the early 1990s, nearly every major financial institution turned its back on him except Deutsche Bank, which remained his last lifeline. After the Capitol attack on January 6th, even Deutsche Bank severed all ties, declaring it would no longer do business with him or his companies. Trump often told the world that his wealth was the fruit of his own ambition, claiming he started his real estate career with a small loan of $1 million from his father. Money he said he repaid with interest. But the truth was far greater. He had borrowed about $60 million from Fred Trump and failed to return most of it, while still inheriting an additional $413 million from his father's empire. In his relentless pursuit of prestige, Donald even phoned journalist Jonathan Greenberg in 1984, pretending to be his own spokesman to exaggerate his net worth for a higher place on the Forbes 400 list. By 2024, Forbes estimated his fortune at over $2 billion, ranking him 438th richest person in the world. Trump's flirtation with politics began in 1987 when he registered as a Republican. In 2000, he briefly declared a run for president under the Reform Party, but withdrew by February. 15 years later, in 2015, he announced his candidacy once more, this time for the 2016 presidential election. Against all odds, he defeated Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, stunning the world. Yet his first term in office was anything but ordinary. Chaos, controversy, and division defined his presidency. He became only the third president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. The first impeachment came in 2019 when he was accused of abusing power and obstructing justice, pressuring Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate Joe and Hunter Biden for political gain. In 2021, following the storming of the Capitol, he faced impeachment again for inciting insurrection. Though acquitted both times by the Senate, the stains on his legacy were indelible. Scholars and historians ranked him among the worst presidents in U.S. history. He ran again in 2020 but lost to Joe Biden. Yet even in defeat, Trump refused to concede. He falsely claimed the election had been stolen, sowing doubt in democracy itself, and tried to overturn the results. By 2023, a storm of lawsuits engulfed him, allegations of assault, defamation, and business fraud. In 2024, history was made again, but in disgrace. Trump was convicted of falsifying business records, becoming the first U.S. president ever found guilty of a felony. A stunning fall from power, even as he campaigned once more for the presidency. And so the haunting question remains, who would entrust the future of America to a man burdened with so much scandal? Despite accusations, controversies, and a presidency many called divisive, Donald Trump made a shocking return. In 2024, against fierce criticism, and despite facing Kamala Harris, he won again. Even more stunning, 2 felony indictments vanished after his victory. By January 2025, Trump began his second term with bold, rapid moves, mass deportations, cuts to federal staff, yet also pardons for 1,500 January 6 rioters. Some saw a turning point, others a repeat of old storms. Polarizing as ever, he still leads one of the world's most powerful nations. But at home, he is simply husband and father, especially to his youngest son, Barron, Melania Trump's pride. Before Barron's story, we must look back into Melania's past and the love story that tied her fate to Donald's. Melania Trump's early life was far from the image of a glamorous first lady. Born as Melania Canavs in Novo Mesto, then part of Yugoslavia, she grew up in Sevnica, where her father was a car dealer for a state-owned company, and her mother worked as a seamstress. Surrounded by the textile industry, young Melania discovered fashion, joining local shows, and later designing and sewing her own clothes under her mother's guidance. She was also a disciplined student, serving as school treasurer. In 1985, watching CNN and Ronald Reagan's presidency opened her eyes to America, planting early seeds of ambition that would one day lead her to the White House. Her international debut opened the way to American media and soon drew her into the world of global fashion. At 19, she graduated in design and photography from Ljubljana, then briefly studied architecture before leaving university behind. A young woman who walked away from college would later step into the White House as First Lady. But how did her path cross with Donald Trump's? Stay with us to discover that turning point. Melania's modeling career took root early in Slovenia, long before fame found her. At just 16, she was discovered by fashion photographer Stane Jerko during a school program. Though she once dreamed of becoming a designer, the industry kept opening doors, and soon contracts followed one after another. Determined to reinvent herself, she adopted the name Melania, and by 23 had moved to Paris, where her career truly flourished. She modeled in Paris and Milan for top fashion houses, earned runner-up in Jana magazine's 1992 Look of the Year, and briefly signed with RVR Reclam. Then in 1995, fate introduced her to a co-owner of Metropolitan Models, an encounter that would forever change her life. Paolo Zampoli, a seasoned talent scout, immediately saw Melania's quiet elegance and urged her to take a leap move to the U.S. and pursue fashion. In 1996, she packed her dreams and landed in Manhattan. At 20, older than most aspiring models, she compensated with disciplined grace and a strong upbringing. Living clean and avoiding the chaos of parties, Melania stood apart in the cutthroat world of modeling. Melania valued privacy so deeply that she avoided Manhattan's party scene, choosing a quiet life instead. But in 1998, fate intervened when Paolo Zampoli introduced her to Donald Trump at a party. Donald was instantly captivated and asked for her number, but she refused, taking his instead. A week later, she called, leading to their very first date. From the very beginning, Melania played her cards with quiet confidence. She deliberately kept her distance, resisting his early flirtations, knowing that her calm resistance would only intrigue him more. As their relationship slowly unfolded, she gained access to his book, Trump: The Art of the Comeback, a personal manifesto in which Donald laid out his vision for life, business, and love. Through this, she began to understand the man behind the empire. And as their connection deepened, Melania's life began to shift. Her relationship with Trump not only brought her into the public eye, but also opened the door to new opportunities, a wider network, and a level of recognition she had never experienced before. Melania's modeling career reached new heights when she appeared at glamorous events with Donald Trump, soon rubbing shoulders with the world's elite. At a press conference, she proudly recalled being ranked among the world's top 50 highest-paid models, admitting that her relationship with Donald boosted her fame and secured her place as an international success. Though known as private and reserved, Melania always carried herself with elegance and professionalism, earning lasting respect in the fashion world. But Melania was not Donald's first great love. Because Donald Trump had children long before Barron was born, it was clear that he had gone through past relationships and marriages that ultimately ended, paving the way for his union with Melania. Donald's marital history is as dramatic as his business ventures, filled with passion, scandal, and public attention. His first marriage was to Ivana Zelnichkova, a striking Czech model, in 1977. Together, they had 3 children: Donald Jr., born in 1977, Ivanka, born in 1981, and Eric, born in 1984. For a time, they appeared to be the perfect power couple, but the marriage unraveled in 1990 after Donald's highly publicized affair with actress and model Marla Maples. In 1993, Donald married Marla Maples, and they welcomed their daughter Tiffany. But the marriage soon ended, and by 1999, Marla had moved to California to raise Tiffany away from Trump's spotlight. Around that time, Donald met Melania. They dated for nearly 6 years before marrying, with Melania slowing her modeling career to devote more time to him. By the late 1990s, their relationship was already a public fascination. Donald proudly showed her off while keeping her away from his business dealings. Unlike his first marriage, where business roles were shared, Melania's strength came from loyalty and quiet support. During campaigns, she played a subtle yet vital role, something Donald often admitted. When asked what kind of first lady she would be, Melania simply said, "Very traditional." Like Betty Ford or Jackie Kennedy, a glimpse of her belief in elegance, tradition, and silent strength. After 6 years together, Donald proposed to Melania on her birthday, April 26, 2004, just before the Met Gala. Months later, in January 2005, they wed at Bethesda by the Sea Church in Palm Beach, with a dazzling reception at Mar-a-Lago, attended by celebrities and power figures. Their union soon welcomed a son, Barron William Trump, as they stepped into a life forever under the world's spotlight. For Barron, life came with both privilege and peculiarities. As the only son of Donald and Melania and the youngest of Donald's 5 children, he grew up with 4 much older half-siblings, Ivanka, Donald Jr., Eric, and Tiffany. The age gap was striking, ranging from 13 to 29 years. Remarkably, Barron became an uncle while he was still a child himself, with nieces only a year younger than him. This unusual family dynamic only added to the fascination surrounding his life. Often dubbed the richest kid in the world, Barron's lifestyle has fueled endless speculation. But the question remains, what truly makes him deserving of that title? Is it merely because his father was born into wealth? Or is it because Barron himself embodies a future shaped by unimaginable privilege? Whether it is through family legacy or the immense fortune his father has built for him, Barron Trump's life unfolds like that of the richest child in the world. His every step seems wrapped in privilege and opulence, making us wonder what hidden secrets lie inside his luxurious existence. Stay tuned, because we are about to dive deeper into the fascinating life of this extraordinary heir. Some may argue that Barron is not literally the richest child alive, yet he was born into a dynasty of wealth and power. His grandfather, a shrewd business tycoon, secured millions through clever investments and carefully guarded properties. These were passed down and reserved for his children from the time they were young, ensuring that each generation inherited more than just a name, they inherited a lifestyle. Donald Trump himself grew up surrounded by wealth, attending one of the finest schools in town while living in a sprawling estate. Inspired by his father, Donald followed the same path, building a real estate empire and pursuing ambitious ventures. Despite controversies and bankruptcies that shook his career, he regained his footing and continued to live extravagantly, never shying away from a life of grandeur. His determination was clear. He wanted his children to live even more lavishly than he once did. Barron, from the very moment he was born, knew nothing less than luxury. He spent his early years inside a $100 million penthouse in Trump Tower, a residence so grand it covered an entire floor. Unlike most children who dream of a cozy bedroom, Barron had an entire penthouse level to call his own, complete with favorite snacks, personalized toiletries, expensive toys, and everything a child could possibly desire. His nursery was no ordinary room, but a kingdom filled with oversized stuffed animals, a private kitchen, a living area, and even quarters for his mother and nannies. But Barron's life was destined to become even more unique. In 2017, when his father became the President of the United States, Barron stepped into a world that very few children will ever know: the White House. He remains the only child of Donald Trump to have lived there. His quarters inside the presidential mansion were nothing short of remarkable, with access to a private cinema, a bowling alley, a swimming pool, and even a jogging track. While other children could only dream of such a life, for Barron it was simply home. And it wasn't just his living environment that reflected privilege, his education mirrored it too. From prestigious preparatory schools to elite academies, Barron's schooling cost tens of thousands of dollars every year. At St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Maryland, tuition alone reached $50,000 annually, later followed by the prestigious Oxbridge Academy. Each institution he attended was a statement of excellence, positioning him not just as the son of a billionaire, but as a young man destined to inherit influence, intellect, and immense wealth. After Donald Trump's presidency, Barron continued his studies in Florida, paying $38,000 a year in tuition. Instead of strictly following family tradition, he carved his own path. At 18, he chose to study at NYU's Stern School of Business, turning down other top universities his father proudly mentioned. Unlike many college freshmen, Barron doesn't live in a dormitory. Instead, he resides at Trump Tower and commutes to class each day, often under the close watch of Secret Service agents. Beyond the wealth and luxury that surround him, what stands out most is how his parents raised him. Melania, his mother, has always insisted that her primary role in life is to be present for her son, despite her demanding schedule. Both Donald and Melania rejected the idea of relying too heavily on outside help in raising him. Donald once remarked, "If you have too much help, you will never truly understand your child." Melania has described motherhood as the most important job of all, and she worked hard to stay close to Barron. She ensured he remained fluent in her native Slovenian, even while keeping him away from the chaos of Donald's political campaigns. Yet Barron could not avoid politics entirely. In July 2024, he appeared at his first campaign rally in Doral, Florida. There, he was photographed smiling and raising his fist, quickly becoming a public sensation. Many even claimed he outshone his older brothers Don Jr. and Eric. At the rally, Donald joked that his youngest son sometimes gave him political advice, and that advice mattered. Barron's influence extended beyond appearances. He played a key role in helping his father connect with younger voters. In fact, Donald personally thanked Barron after securing victory in the 2024 election. Behind the scenes, Barron was even considered the architect of Trump's selective podcast strategy, advising his father to appear on shows with massive youth audiences like Aiden Ross's Stream and Joe Rogan's podcast. According to the Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning, Barron's strategic input was effective. Nearly 56% of male voters aged 18 to 28 supported Trump in 2024. Despite these public glimpses, much of Barron's personal life remains private, carefully guarded by his mother. He has no social media presence, a rarity for someone his age. Yet in September 2024, he surprised many by opening an account on X, formerly Twitter. His very first post wasn't about fashion, sports, or parties, but rather a call to support his father's new cryptocurrency platform. This rare move sparked curiosity. Could Barron, often dubbed the richest kid in the world, be preparing to step into his own spotlight? So what do you think of Barron Trump and his extravagant lifestyle? Does he embody the next chapter of the Trump legacy, or is he destined to carve a story entirely his own? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also check out more videos now showing on your screen. Barron Trump, the youngest son of President-elect Donald Trump, has long been known for his preference to stay out of the public eye, carefully navigating a life shadowed by the intense spotlight that so often follows his family. Yet, despite his usual reticence, every rare occasion when he steps into the limelight leaves a lasting and unforgettable impression on those who witness it. Just recently, at one of his father's pivotal re-election campaign events, Barron emerged from the background to make a striking public appearance. The moment was charged with electricity as a thunderous and heartfelt applause erupted from the crowd, filling the air with excitement and admiration that echoed through the venue, marking a milestone moment that many will remember for years to come. What is it about this young man, barely 18 years old, that has managed to captivate so many hearts and spark widespread conversations across the nation? What inner qualities or unique presence does he hold that commands such attention, despite his preference for a quieter, more reserved life? Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the layers behind that emotionally charged moment. The story of Barron Trump, a figure whose quiet charisma and subtle influence make him stand out in ways few expect. Together, we will explore the reasons why Barron continues to fascinate and why his story deserves to be told with the depth and nuance it commands. Looking back at Donald Trump's recent election victory, the difference maker was not just the usual political tactics. The real key was connecting with voters in fresh, unexpected ways. What may surprise many is that Barron Trump, Donald's youngest son, played a crucial behind-the-scenes role. While most attention usually falls on Donald and his older children, Barron quietly stepped forward, offering strategic insights and moves that helped his father secure victory, even when these contributions weren't always publicly recognized. Recently, Lara Trump, Donald's daughter-in-law and wife of Eric Trump, shared some fascinating details about Barron's involvement in an interview on the PBD podcast with Patrick Bet-David. But before we continue, if you enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button. And if you already have, we truly appreciate your support. Now let's return to the heart of the matter. What she shared is truly thought-provoking and worthy of deep reflection. She explained how Barron played a vital role in crafting strategies that helped Donald Trump connect with an entirely new generation of voters, especially the tech-savvy youth. One of Barron's most influential ideas was securing his father's presence on popular podcasts. In today's media landscape, podcasts wield tremendous influence, particularly among younger audiences who may not tune into traditional television. By ensuring these podcast appearances, Barron played a crucial part in expanding his father's reach to new audiences. This approach genuinely helped garner additional votes. Lara did not hesitate to praise Barron's talent. She described him as intelligent, remarkable, and engaging, clear signs of her deep respect for him. "He is definitely his father's son," she confidently remarked. "And believe me, he is destined to achieve great things." Her words reveal the true essence of Barron, a sharp mind with strategic thinking, someone who not only follows in his father's footsteps, but is also carving out his own path. While Donald Trump continues to dominate headlines with bold moves and shocking statements, Barron is quietly emerging as a powerful figure behind the scenes. And it seems this is only the beginning of his growing influence. So what is it that makes Barron Trump such a captivating figure? Why does he stand out in a family where the spotlight usually shines on his father and older siblings? Let's delve deeper into the qualities that make Barron different and explore why his rising influence truly deserves our attention. Believe me, some of the things you will discover might surprise you. When it comes to the children of famous political families, you might expect them to crave fame or constantly seek the spotlight. But Barron Trump breaks that mold. Time and again, he surprises people with his down-to-earth, approachable nature. Growing up surrounded by cameras and media frenzy, Barron has maintained an aura of mystery and humility. He is not someone who chases the spotlight or tries to overshadow others. Instead, he seems to quietly define himself on his own terms, steadily building his own identity away from the glare of public attention. What stands out most about Barron is how starkly he contrasts with the often larger-than-life personalities in his family. His father, Donald Trump, is famously loud, bold, and always the center of attention. In contrast, Barron is calm and reserved. He lives a private life and carries himself with a quiet confidence, qualities that make him stand out in a uniquely different way. There's a mysterious charm about him, as if he's patiently waiting for the right moment to step forward and leave his mark. This sense of anticipation only adds to his allure. Those closest to Barron often highlight his intelligence as one of his most striking traits. Barron may not speak as openly or as frequently as his father, but whenever he shares his thoughts, it is clear they are deeply insightful and articulate. His perspective has made him an invaluable asset behind the scenes. People like Lara Trump have emphasized Barron's analytical skills and sound decision-making abilities, which set him apart from many other teenagers. Such critical thinking at such a young age is truly impressive. But Barron is not just a serious intellect. He also possesses a wonderful sense of humor and a calm, approachable demeanor that makes him relatable across generations. Whether delivering a witty remark or simply maintaining a relaxed presence, Barron always knows how to keep things light and engaging. It is a rare balance of Obertus. Maturity beyond his years is paired with a natural youthful charm that draws people in. This combination makes him approachable and genuinely likable. Whether among peers or adults, Barron's ability to stand firm in his convictions and project quiet confidence is a crucial part of his magnetic appeal. It comes as no surprise that Barron made a rare and highly anticipated public appearance at one of his father's campaign rallies, a moment that instantly captured the hearts of those in attendance and beyond. As a video of his speech was shared, the crowd rose to their feet, showering him with thunderous applause and cheers that echoed through the venue. This was not just any ordinary moment. It was a powerful and unforgettable display of the young man's quiet strength and poised confidence. But before we immerse ourselves fully in that defining moment, let's step back and take a deeper look at the complex and fascinating relationship between Barron and his father, Donald Trump. This bond has long intrigued and fascinated the public, drawing attention to the contrasts and connections that define their unique dynamic. The contrast between them is striking and undeniable. Donald Trump, known worldwide for his loud, brash personality and his tendency to dominate any room he enters, is the very definition of a public figure who thrives on attention. Barron, on the other hand, consistently embodies the opposite: quiet, reserved, and composed. His demeanor is one of calm introspection, a stark foil to his father's larger-than-life presence. This profound difference has piqued the curiosity of many who wonder how such contrasting personalities maintain a strong bond in the glare of public scrutiny and media frenzy. From his earliest years, Barron seemed to instinctively avoid the spotlight, choosing instead a path of privacy and discretion that few would expect from the son of such a high-profile family. Yet, despite his naturally reserved disposition, Donald has never hidden his deep pride in Barron's independence and his extraordinary ability to remain calm under pressure. Throughout the tumultuous and often chaotic election years, Donald has openly praised his son's remarkable composure, a trait that sets Barron apart and earns him profound respect. Donald often recounts how even as a young boy, Barron possessed a rare gift for maintaining his cool in situations where many would falter. This steadfast calmness, according to Donald, is a testament to the young man's inner strength and maturity beyond his years, qualities that inspire both admiration and hope for the future. After Donald Trump's monumental and hard-fought victory in the presidential election, he made a deliberate and heartfelt decision to have his youngest son, Barron, stand right beside him throughout the entire victory speech. This was no mere formality or background placement. It was a powerful statement about family unity and legacy. The image of Barron standing tall and poised at an impressive height of 1.93 meters, 6 feet 4 inches, right next to his father, became etched into the collective memory of millions. In that unforgettable moment, Barron was far more than just a silent figure in the background. He embodied the pride, hope, and triumphant spirit of the Trump family's monumental success, shining brightly like a beacon of the future. Countless observers immediately noticed how much Barron bore a striking resemblance to his father, not only in appearance but also in subtle expressions and demeanor. Yet, what set him apart was a gentler, more understated presence that softened some of Donald's famously bold traits. What is even more remarkable is that Barron's quiet, subtle influence became a surprisingly vital and strategic element behind the scenes of the campaign. Donald Trump openly acknowledged and praised his son's role, especially in helping him bridge the gap to a younger generation of voters, those tech-savvy, socially connected youth who played a pivotal part in tipping the scales of the election. Barron's input on reaching this demographic turned out to be a key factor in securing the historic win. Barron was the visionary behind the idea that Donald Trump should actively engage with the rapidly growing world of podcasts and emerging digital media platforms, channels that deeply resonate with a younger, tech-savvy audience. Recognizing the shifting landscape of communication, Barron understood that traditional media was no longer enough to reach this crucial demographic. Although Donald himself was less familiar and somewhat hesitant about these new forms of media, Barron took it upon himself to guide and support his father through this complex digital realm, His efforts ensured that Donald didn't miss out on vital opportunities to connect authentically and directly with younger voters, who have increasingly become a decisive force in shaping political outcomes. In a revealing and in-depth interview with popular podcast host Joe Rogan, Donald Trump mentioned Barron on two distinct occasions. First, he reflected nostalgically on the early days after moving into the White House, highlighting the steep learning curve and the rapid changes in how information was consumed. Then, during a discussion about the shift from traditional media outlets to modern digital platforms, Donald openly acknowledged Barron's expertise. He candidly shared, "Barron knows all about these people, the influencers, the creators, the voices of this new generation. He knows people I'd never even heard of before, like Aiden Ross. I asked him, who are these people? And he said, they're very famous." This moment offered a rare glimpse into the behind-the-scenes dynamic, showcasing how Barron's insights helped Donald adapt to a new media era. You just have to do it. That simple yet powerful phrase captures the essence of Barron Trump's influence behind the scenes. His profound understanding of the ever-changing digital landscape is something his father, Donald Trump, holds in the highest regard. Donald's repeated praise for Barron's sharp intelligence and forward-thinking approach to technology shines a light on how crucial Barron's role has been in navigating the complexities of today's media environment, a world vastly different from traditional political campaigns. This isn't mere flattery or empty words. It's a testament to Barron's real impact. Jason Miller, one of Donald Trump's top advisors, famously described Barron's recommendations as black gold in terms of media ratings, highlighting the extraordinary value Barron brings to the campaign's communication strategy. Barron has been instrumental in guiding his father toward the new frontiers of media engagement, particularly through podcasts and digital platforms that capture the attention of younger, tech-savvy audiences. By advising which popular podcast Donald should appear on, Barron helped launch viral moments that spread like wildfire across the internet, greatly expanding the campaign's reach beyond traditional channels. This strategic digital presence translated directly into votes, showcasing Barron's deep knowledge of where and how to connect with a new generation of voters. Despite the expanding influence and growing spotlight on Barron, what stands out most is his unwavering humility. He does not boast about the family's legacy or his own contributions, but instead speaks with genuine respect and gratitude for the sacrifices his father made to pave the way. During an intimate conversation at the 2024 Sales Leadership Summit with Patrick Bet-David, Barron candidly expressed this mindset, emphasizing that no matter what he or his siblings achieve, it could never fully measure up to the hardships their father endured to reach his current position. These words reveal a young man who deeply understands the weight of legacy, not as a burden, but as a source of inspiration. Barron's blend of humility and intelligence distinguishes him within a family often spotlighted for its loud personalities and bold moves. It is this rare combination that has captured the attention and respect of those around him. As Barron continues to mature and carve out his own unique path, the world watches with anticipation, knowing that it is only a matter of time before he steps fully into the public eye and makes his own indelible mark. Will he follow in his father's footsteps or carve out a different path of his own? Whether Barron Trump chooses to engage in future political campaigns or pursues a completely new direction, one thing is crystal clear. He has already made his own mark, and the deep bond he shares with his father will always be at the heart of his story. Recently, Barron became a political focal point when a video of his first public speech was released, and it truly stunned viewers across the nation. The clip, filmed during a jubilant election night celebration for Donald Trump, captures an unforgettable moment with Barron standing tall and composed, just as many who know him have described. In the midst of a crowd buzzing with energy and excitement, Barron's calm and steady presence immediately stands out. The young man engages politely and thoughtfully with those around him, his demeanor marked by a poise and maturity that surpass what one might expect from a typical teenager. In the video, Barron warmly approaches a woman just off camera, offering a firm handshake and greeting her with sincere kindness. "Hello, how are you? It's a pleasure to meet you." The simplicity of this greeting, paired with his genuine warmth, reveals a young man who carries himself with quiet dignity and an innate sense of respect for others. Shortly after, Barron turns his attention to Dana White, the founder of the UFC, and continues their conversation with the same respectful and gentle demeanor. The voice that emerges, a voice the public had never heard before, is steady, calm, and carries a surprising magnetism. It contrasts sharply with the often loud and bold personalities associated with his family's public figures, instantly captivating everyone in the room. This unexpected calmness and poise lend an air of intrigue and admiration to the young man, revealing a depth of character that many had not yet seen. The response from viewers across social media was overwhelmingly positive. One commenter wrote, "What a polite and gracious young man." Another chimed in, "Barron is truly well-mannered." However, the biggest surprise was that this marked Barron's first time speaking on camera. Given how rarely he appears in public, it was no wonder viewers were completely captivated by this glimpse into his true personality. "That's Barron's voice," one viewer exclaimed, while another admitted, "I've never heard him speak before." Fans were impressed not only by his smooth, articulate speech, but also by the relaxed confidence he effortlessly radiated. This quiet yet powerful presence starkly contrasted with the loud, dramatic speeches commonly associated with his father, making Barron's demeanor all the more striking and memorable. Barron's presence is quietly humble and unassuming. Yet, in a world that often celebrates bold, attention-grabbing moments, his calm strength shines through with undeniable clarity. But that's not where the story ends. The internet quickly took notice of Barron's rare public appearance and rallied around him with overwhelming support. Shortly after, videos surfaced showing Barron receiving a warm round of applause at one of his father's rallies. And these clips began to spread widely across social media, further solidifying his growing influence and quiet charisma on the political stage. The enthusiastic reaction from the crowd was a vivid testament to the powerful impression Barron made on everyone present at the event. The atmosphere was electric, charged with genuine admiration and respect for the young man who so effortlessly commanded attention without raising his voice or seeking the spotlight. Many attendees and viewers alike flocked to social media platforms to express their awe and appreciation. One user tweeted, "Barron's energy is absolutely amazing," emphasizing how he managed to captivate and hold the gaze of everyone around him. Another commenter, with a touch of humor, joked, "His future is so bright, he better wear sunglasses," playfully acknowledging the undeniable promise and potential that Barron embodies. These voices of admiration poured in from all corners, highlighting just how much the young Trump has begun to resonate with the public. With feedback so overwhelmingly positive and encouraging, it's clear that Barron's future is unfolding with immense promise and potential. This rare and precious glimpse of him in the public spotlight has stirred curiosity and excitement among many. People are now eager to see what lies ahead for this young man who is steadily emerging from the shadows and capturing the attention of an entire nation. Gone are the days when he was simply a quiet, reserved boy in the background. Today, Barron is beginning to step forward with a confidence and presence that hints at a bright and impactful journey ahead. A journey that many are now watching with great anticipation. Barron is growing up fast, and his recent appearances show that he is ready to take on more responsibility in a larger role. One of the most exciting aspects of Barron's future is his acceptance into New York University, NYU, a prestigious institution known for nurturing some of the brightest minds. His decision to attend NYU reflects his seriousness about education and his desire to build a solid foundation for whatever path he chooses. Both Donald and Melania Trump are very supportive of Barron's educational journey. Donald praises his son's maturity, calling him highly intelligent and well-adjusted, while Melania often expresses pride in Barron's focus on his studies. She shares that Barron prefers to live quietly so he can concentrate on personal growth and his goals, an admirable quality at his age. Looking ahead, the horizon for Barron Trump is filled with endless possibilities and promising opportunities. As a young man standing at the crossroads of life, he faces choices that could define not only his personal future, but also the legacy of an influential family. Will he continue the powerful business empire his family has built over decades, carving out a role in the corporate world where the Trump name carries immense weight? Or will he decide to follow in the footsteps of his father, diving headfirst into the complex and often tumultuous realm of politics, where every decision can shape the nation's course? Only time holds the answers to these pressing questions. Yet, there is another path that Barron might choose, one less traveled by the Trump heirs, a path that leads away from the shadows of family legacy and into his own light. Perhaps he will forge a completely new identity, one that reflects his unique passions, values, and ambitions. This possibility speaks to the freedom he has as a young adult to write his own story, distinct from the towering expectations that come with his family name. No matter which path Barron ultimately chooses, one truth remains indisputable. He has already shown signs of remarkable leadership, intelligence, and a strong sense of purpose that many admire. His journey is one of growth and self-discovery, and as he steps more confidently into the public eye, he is prepared to leave a lasting impact on the Trump legacy in his own distinctive way. The world watches with anticipation as Barron Trump takes his first steps on a stage that is as challenging as it is full of potential. His story is unfolding, and without a doubt, this is only the beginning of an extraordinary chapter. We sincerely thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this video inspiring and insightful, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with more fascinating stories. For more captivating content, simply click on the next video appearing on your screen. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. For years, Barron Trump stood as the silent shadow of a thunderous family legacy, a quiet presence in a world defined by volume, controversy, and relentless attention. But now something has shifted. In a bold move that surprised many, Barron is beginning to step into the light. After years of retreating behind the scenes while his famous family captured headlines, what could possibly inspire him to speak out now? Has he finally found his voice? Or is this the beginning of something far more profound? The time has come, and the world is beginning to watch more closely, to wonder what's next for Donald Trump's youngest son. Barron Trump has always held a quiet fascination. Unlike his older siblings, confident, outspoken, and deeply embedded in the family brand, Barron chose a different path. His presence has been marked by restraint and mystery, an aura of quiet elegance that's rare, especially for someone born into one of the world's most famous families. But before we dive deeper into this unfolding story, if you're enjoying this exploration of the quietest Trump, we'd truly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. And if you've just done that, thank you. Now, let's return to the heart of the story. While the rest of the Trump family flourished under the glaring lights of public life, Barron remained an enigma, deliberately distant. His early years were unusually private, calm, even serene, a stark contrast to the high-profile upbringings of Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric. Though he lived in symbolic places like Trump Tower and the White House, Barron never courted